Good evening, fuckers. We are back for the first time in years with, one of these increasingly rare discussion videos where we are going through well, various top fives, but this one in particular is, to put it mildly, a video that is somewhat overdue, shall we say. I think the idea for this one first cropped up at least a year ago. I think it might even be longer than that.
I think it's longer.
Yeah. For this one, we are going to be going through our top five episodes of Star Trek. Specifically the original series, because we are starting with the very best. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, there were only two series, this and Next Generation. I really couldn't give a monkeys about any of the others.
Yeah, agreed.
So, it is pretty self-explanatory. Our top fives. Number one being what we consider to be the best episodes of Star Trek made. I have a feeling there are going to be more duplicates than was initially thought. The five episodes I've chosen they're kind of known for really standing out. So I don't think there's going to be any big surprises in that regard. But obviously, when you're choosing just the top five, there are going to be plenty of really great episodes that are left out. Doesn't mean that I don't rate them, or it doesn't mean that either of us don't rate them. It's just that we can only choose five of the things.
Yeah, and there's 79 of them.
Yeah. Some were pretty easy to leave out. I dare say, as we get towards the end, we'll probably cover, some, notable absentees, notable for all the right reasons and all the wrong ones. But we'll deal with that once we have completed our actual top fives. So, as always, I will let the guest go first, because this is a bit of a weird one. This, even though the video is actually going to end up on Jim's channel, it's me that's doing all this business. I'm sort of like responsible for the recording of it, but it'll work out in the end. Trust us. So, right.
Okay, right.
We start then with your number five.
Yes. So let me just share it. I think you'll know instantly which episode it is.
All right.
Oh, I'm going to not show those tips again. Right. Click share.
Right. Let's add that one. Well, I can tell you this is not one of mine, so I haven't got a duplicate here.
Right. Okay, so this is from season 2, the immunity syndrome. I'll just I've written a quick sort of summary sentence. So the Enterprise is drawn into a dark, energy-draining void in space to battle a giant 11,000-mile-long single-cell organism, like an amoeba type of thing, that's wiped out an entire solar system and a Vulcan starship. The Intrepid, I think it was.
Yeah, this is one that I'm not overly familiar with. I've definitely seen it, but I'm not hugely familiar with this one. It's not one I remember very vividly. But that the still image that you've got from there, I recognise that straight away. But
so with this one, what I do like about it, and why it made number 5, okay, so it's mostly character driven. It's all on the ship. They don't go to any planet surfaces or any structures or anything. It's all done on the ship with a little bit on the shuttlecraft. And
Yeah,
it's gone. Sorry.
I was just going to say I do quite like the episodes that take place mainly on ships. I don't know why, but yeah. And the weird thing is they tend to be almost like filler episodes because they're cheaper to make because it's just using the ship's set which they've already got built, and they haven't got to worry about doing any planetary settings or anything like that. But I think they tend to work pretty well.
Yeah, and what they got right in this particular one, where they weren't going down doing location shooting or in a Planet Studio set, they really focused on the character-driven side of it, especially the sort of bickering between Spock and McCoy, Dr. McCoy. And
Yeah.
they really took it to the next level in this, with like guilt tripping and all sorts of things. Because what happens is Kirk has to choose between one of them to go on a suicide mission in the shuttlecraft into that thing to work out how to destroy it. Oh, my screen share's just disappeared. Yours has come up.
Yeah, I have no idea why. Let's remove mine. You just had a bit of a hint as to what my first choice was going to be. Right, yes, that was a fuck up there. Right, there we go. You're back on.
So yeah, that is what really did it for me. It was emotionally charged. You really got into the actual way that Spock and McCoy interact and bicker. And Spock came through on the microphone where his life support was almost out, and he's really weak voiced. He said, "Tell Dr. McCoy he should have wished me luck," and guilt tripped the arse out of poor old Bones. So, spoiler alert, he didn't die in the end. Kirk managed to think the way to do it. Use an antimatter explosion as an antibody.
I think we can safely say it's not a huge spoiler that Spock actually did survive this one.
Too soon.
Is this from the original version? This isn't the one where they've redone the visuals with the CGI, is it?
Yeah, good question. I do remember it looking like that in the originals because I had them on VHS.
Yeah, it does look to me like it's the original, which I prefer. I'd rather see it as it was originally shown on television rather than the CGI effects do look better, but it's not what we saw when we were watching it, when it was on telly. So I prefer this. This does look like it's the original one. And I think actually that the effects there look pretty good considering that this thing was made on an absolute threadbare budget. I got no problem with how it looks. But weird thing is I don't remember this episode very well at all, which is not a great start considering this is supposed to be us talking about Star Trek episodes. And the first one is one that I don't recognise.
But it's in my top 5, and for a good reason that I actually like, because of the actual character arc to the storyline there. So there we have it.
All right, there we go. I think although I don't remember it like vividly, I do remember bits of it. I certainly remember that scene there. So I dare say it's got off to a fairly good start with that one.
All you need to do if you find that yourself in that position for any other episodes I do is just watch them again.
Yeah, exactly. It's not exactly the end of the world if it's one you don't remember. It gives you all the excuse to just go and watch it again. So, not a bad start.
I'm going to give that 1 point because it's got 1 ranking point.
All
Obviously,
right.
if there's an episode where it's on both our lists, that will get extra points.
Yeah. Now, I have a feeling that those episodes will be, ones that are on mine. Unfortunately, you're going to have to restart your sharing again when it comes to doing your next one because
that's fine.
Okay. Right. So we go on to my number 5, which you've already seen the image from. It does, yeah, there is no doubt at all as to what episode it is. It's extremely well known. In fact, arguably, it's one of the most well known episodes of the original series. Um, Something of a light-hearted one, which yeah, it really does give away what it is. So we'll bung that up. Yeah, so from series, let me just double check what series this was from. It was series
Series
two.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Trouble with Tribbles. Yeah, I mean it's got. A bit of everything that I like in Star Trek. It does have its humour, but there is a serious story there as well. Um, we have the Klingons appearing in this. I forget who the lead Klingon is in this one.
Oh, he was played by William Campbell, who played the Squire of Gothos, didn't he? It's the same bloke.
Okay, yeah,
Koloth, that was it.
Oh,
Koloth.
it was Koloth in this one. Okay, I
Yeah.
couldn't remember if it was him or not. I mean, Koloth, of course, appeared again much later on in DS9 with two other Klingons. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if either of those may appear a bit later on in this.
You mean Kang and Kor?
Yes, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone really needs me to describe this episode too much. I think everyone is familiar with this one. This is one of those episodes where even if you're not like a real sort of like hardcore Trek fan, you've seen this one.
Yes. I quite like this, but I do have a couple of problems with it.
Mm.
I don't like things that when a funny moment comes, they have silly music. It's
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
force you to laugh. Yeah.
yeah. I certainly can't argue with that. Yeah, I could do without that.
Yeah. That's the only thing that let it down for me, really. It was like the silly incidental music when something that they want us to laugh at happens.
Yeah, yeah. Particularly this moment when they're all falling out of the grain storage area. Yeah, it's a bit overdone, but the rest of the episode I think is so good that I can overlook it. Particularly, although it's another scene where again the stupid incidental music rather spoils the end, but after the bar fight on the station. K7 is it station?
Yeah, K6 or K7.
One of the two. And Kirk's trying to find out, who started it, and he eventually gets it out of Mr. Scott that he was the one who started it, and he confines him to quarters. Now, a lot of people always sort of like, go on about how bad an actor William Shatner was. In that particular scene, I think his acting is absolutely spot on. I no criticism at all of his acting in there, especially when he's trying to. Or he's going on the assumption that it's when the Klingons insulted him that the fight started. And of course, no, it was when the Klingons insulted the Enterprise that it started.
Yeah, he's like, they called me a regular bloodworm. And you did nothing.
Yeah.
But then you said the Enterprise is a garbage scout. That's
So I thought that was brilliantly done.
Yeah, no, that was a good, genuine laughing bit.
Yeah.
Biggest Dickus level that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did like the end reveal scene when he uses the tribbles to find out that
the guy was a Klingon.
Yeah, and he's shoving them in his face, and they go,
yeah,
they don't like you, Mr. Darwin, or whatever his name was.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what his name was. But,
yeah, old Darwin, it was.
Okay. Of course, okay, they could do that in the original series because the Klingons didn't look too unlike humans. Of course, Next Generation onwards, you wouldn't have really been able to do that so much.
No, but then It's probably one of the only DS9 episodes I like. They actually went back in time to the Trouble in Tribbles.
The Trials and Tribulations episode. It was well done, no doubt about that. I wouldn't say it was a fantastic episode, but yeah, it certainly had its moments.
And remember the awkward bit when the Klingons are in the bar and they're also in the bar and they look at Worf and go, "Are Klingons, Worf?"
Yeah. I love the explanation. It's just we don't talk about it. Yeah, that will do for an explanation. Yeah. So
yes, that's well deserved. So I'll write that down. So,
now I assume that is not in your list then. If it's you were well, you didn't mention it was in your list anyway.
No, if it was, I would do. I won't tell you where if it was, but I'll tell you it is in my list. But it isn't.
Okay. Right.
So it's my number 4.
Yep.
Let me. Oh yeah, this pick sums it up quite well. It's not very big. I'll have to zoom in a bit.
All right.
And I'll share it. There we go. Right. There's a bit of lag when I click share than when you can actually see it.
Yeah, not to worry. Right. We definitely have our first, our first duplicate. This is on my list. This is my number 1. This is my favourite episode of all. In fact, not just of the original series. This is my favourite Star Trek episode, full stop.
Of all time.
Yeah. Wow. The Doomsday Machine. This is fantastic. This is great stuff.
This again, I seem to be at these stages going on the characters as well, but William Wyndham was absolutely outstanding as he plays.
Is that Commodore Decker?
Yeah. And you watch him just become more and more unravelled as the episode goes on.
Yeah.
Into an almost obsessive level.
Yeah, completely. The parts where I think he really sort of excels is when he's trying to assume command of the Enterprise, because no one is taking any of his orders or anything, and you've got Kirk on the communicator, and he's saying, no, you're not going to, take command and all this, and Spock is just, he's refusing to, take any orders from him, and he's determined, he's just going to sit there and, he's like going to try and force the matter. He realizes he's onto a loser, and very reluctantly sort of like hands the command back to Kirk. Yeah, I thought that was brilliantly done.
Yeah, but at first he does get command for a bit, because McCoy has to deem him medically unfit to command, and he can't for some reason. So he does get command for a bit, and then because Kirk's going, "What the hell's Spock doing?" And then he goes on the communicator, and Decker answers.
Yeah, this is all while Kirk's on the Constellation, isn't it? The rather battered second ship that is there. The one bit that, I mean, it's not really a criticism, but it is a bit inconsistent when you consider the size of the old planet killer there. The fact that the Constellation is, I mean, it's in remarkably good condition considering what it's been up against.
Yeah, because I think it was only defending itself against the ships. I think its actual goal was to destroy planets. So I think it just pinged the ships away.
The actual machine itself. Yeah. It was the planet killer, wasn't it? I don't know if that was what it was actually called, but it was referred to as that.
Yeah.
I think during the episode. I mean, it's one of those episodes where the actual science part of the science fiction doesn't really add up. You've got to put that to one side, because there are a lot of things about this where you think, hang on, no, that can't possibly work and all that. But you put that aside and just watch it for what it is. Great sort of like space fantasy,
Yeah,
and yeah, I love it. I think the special effects are fantastic for the time.
yeah, and
Uh,
that is the original, I think.
I
What
think it
you
is,
see there.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they didn't really need to do anything with that. I found some notes on Memory Alpha, and it says here the Planet Killer was constructed out of a simple cardboard tube, wrapped in paper mache and dipped in a mixture of plaster and pool acid to
Yeah,
create a rough volcanic texture. So yeah,
I mean it kind of shows, it does look slightly like the probe from Star Trek 4.
yeah, oh, yeah,
Although,
yeah,
if anything, I think it's even bigger than that thing. I mean, the Star Trek 4 probe was big enough, but I think this
yeah.
is somewhat larger. But I remember when I first saw this, I must have only been about 8 or so. I thought the idea how it worked was it would just fly along, and the planet themselves would fly into the hole at the front there, because I always thought, well, it does look a bit small for that, but of course no, that's not how it was actually working.
Yeah, I think it actually just chopped them into bits and ingested
Well,
all the
yeah,
bits.
it had like the gigantic laser, which I suspect was that would take blast the planet apart, and then the huge sort of like sections of it. That's where it would all go inside there and be turned into whatever the useful material was.
Hmm.
But there was a bit of a wasted opportunity, I think, with this one, because it definitely was set up that we could have had like either another episode later on in the original series, or even bringing it back in like Next Generation, where they come across another one of these, because they even hint it at the end of this episode, don't they? That there may be more of these things out there.
Yes, but although we did get sort of annihilation level things in my section 5, that giant amoeba that destroyed the entire
That's
solar
true.
system, didn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. And that again remained a one-off. A lot of the time, the only things that they really did bring back from the original series were obviously the Klingons, and probably a few other sort of races. But even then, there were a lot of other alien races. One in particular that springs to mind never appeared in Next Generation. I think they might have got a mention a couple of times, but they were never actually shown. In fact, they didn't. I don't think they actually appeared again, either their ships or the actual alien race itself, until Enterprise came along, which might give a clue as to which
That'd
one
be the
I'm
Gorn, then,
thinking
won't
of.
it?
Actually, that's a good point. It wasn't the Gorn that I had in mind, but now that you mention it, yeah, the Gorn would have been a fantastic addition in some of the Next Generation episodes.
Oh,
I don't know
definitely.
why it didn't. I did actually have the Tholians in mind.
Oh, yes. Yeah, they're in a different dimension, though, weren't they? So,
Yeah, I mean, they were a bit of a strange one. I think that's why they never appeared. Well, not until Enterprise, because it would have just sent the effects budget sky high. So they were
hmm,
just like, "No, we'll leave them out of it." It's infuriating when you've got this potential with this race, and again, I think with a second planet killer, and it's the budget that stops people from actually using them again.
yeah. Well,
So.
yeah, I mean, which is doesn't make sense because you've already built the props and the models.
Yeah, and well, from what you were saying there, building another prop for this was not going to
Yeah,
cost a great deal.
it costs about
Uh,
$5.
yeah,
And you know the little
so
flashing lights inside it as Decker's going into it.
yeah,
That was made using an engine spark plug from a car.
so yeah, we're not exactly talking, like major effects budget here.
Yeah,
Um, but I mean, if there's anyone out there who is able to, justify television executive decisions, then yeah, by all means, let us know, because I'm fucked if I know how to.
yeah. Right, so
Uh,
that
yeah,
gets a one.
fantastic
It
episode.
gets a 2 from me,
Yeah.
And a 5 for
And
you.
a 5 from me.
So that's number 7, and that's got 7 points.
I have a feeling that one's going to be tough to beat. So yeah, great episode there. Right, so we will go on to my number 4, and well, it already has had something of an introduction because my number 4 comes from Series 1, and it is Arena. So now we do get the Gorn.
There he is in all its glory.
Yeah. I thought it was a great creation. It was maybe a bit cliche. You know, they always have to have some kind of like reptilian thing, and for some reason they always make them look somewhat primitive. I mean, the Gorn are flying a warp capable ship. They are at least as technologically advanced as the human race is at this time. So why they have been wearing, something that a wrestler would wear, and his weapon is a pointed rock, I don't know, but well, I suppose, yeah, he's
away,
exactly, yeah, his weapons have all been removed. So I mean, he may well have had something a damn sight more impressive while he was on his ship. We will never know, because yeah, the Gorn again, another great alien race that didn't appear. It was Enterprise when they appeared again, or was it later on in was it that Strange New Worlds?
No, I think it was Enterprise because it was CGI.
Yeah,
and it was
totally
very
different.
quick and nimble.
Yeah.
Whereas in here, he moves worse than someone with arthritis in their 90s.
Yeah. I reckon even I could outrun this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could outrun this guy.
You'd lap him.
But I mean, he always has that, the whole sort of like air of being incredibly strong, which is one of the things that I always thought was great about it. They could have toned down the very sort of like heavy breathing and and the hissing and the constant growling. Could have toned that down a little bit. That's about the only sort of criticism I have of the race design. As for the story itself, it's a story that has cropped up in science fiction so many times since this episode was broadcast. There was a Blake Seven story, I think it was called Duel. It was a blatant copy of this, and I think there were parts of various Doctor Who stories that copied this.
Yeah.
And, it just crops up over and over again. So it clearly struck a chord with not just a lot of sci-fi fans, but also a lot of sci-fi writers who are thinking, yeah, this actual general premise, we could be onto a winner using this one. Well, some of them were such blatant copies that you sort of wonder how the hell they got away with it.
Yeah, I mean, Doctor Who can. It's just, it wasn't well known in Hollywood then, was it?
No, well, Blake Seven are even less well known, and I think the Blake Seven copy is the most blatant one. I'm pretty sure it was called Duel. It was, instead of Kirk and the Gorn, you basically replace them with Blake and Travis, and there you go. You've got Duel from Blake Seven.
Yeah.
Even the setup is exactly the same. The space battle over the planet, and then suddenly Kirk and the Gorn captain are transported down to the planet's surface, where they have been told they have to fight it out.
And then, the Metrons, was it?
I can't remember who the race was. That does sound familiar. I think that might be it. And then, of course, as is always the case, he's put together the very crude cannon. And let's be honest, if you were going to try and put together a cannon and you do it the way Kirk does in this episode, it's not going to work very well.
No, they actually did a Mythbusters episode on that exactly.
All right.
And they tried to make it exactly the same way, and yeah, it just all fell apart.
Yeah, it was so it's another one of those where it almost works better if you don't really know a great deal of the science behind it. So yeah, just put your knowledge to one side, watch it for what it is, great space fantasy, and you've got a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
This is one of, I mean, there are plenty of episodes where I was a fan from the moment I very first saw it. Say back when I was about 8 years old or something, and yeah, it's when you first came up with this idea of putting together the list. Even though this is down at number 4, this and the Doomsday Machine were the first 2 episodes I thought of, and I was like, yeah, those 2 are definitely going on here. So.
Making this top 5 was probably one of the most difficult things I've done of late.
It was, because even though this is down in 4, I originally had like my top 3, and this was at number 3 at the time. I was like, yeah, definitely have those. But coming up with 4 and 5, and what eventually became 3 and 5, I had a hell of a job coming up with them. So there were so many great episodes, and I was like, oh no, I can't leave that one out. But I'm going to have to. And then another episode, and you're like, oh no, I definitely can't leave that one out. But I have to. Yeah. And it just went on and on and on. The number of times I thought about saying to you, shall we turn it into a top 10 after all? Because I remember you did put the idea there about making it a top 10. And I thought, no, let's not make the video too long. But then when I was trying to come up with this 5, I'm just like, I think we need a 10, Maybe we'll do a part 2 of this.
We can do 5 to 10.
More, yeah.
With this one, I think my favourite part of it is they're all watching this battle happen in front of them on the Enterprise, on the view screen, and it's Spock's narration that he's giving. Because McCoy is going, "What in blazes is he doing, Spock?" And he's like, "Cool. He knows, Doctor. He knows."
Yeah,
it's just so sarcastic.
Yeah, and I think is this if I am remembering it right, Kirk comes up with the idea of putting together the canon even before Spock thinks of it on the Enterprise, doesn't he?
Yeah, because then Spock's going, good.
Yeah. I think it's about the only time I can, certainly the only time I can think of where Kirk comes up with any sort of like practical idea before Spock has thought of it. That is quite the rare occurrence. Certainly in the series, maybe in the films it happened a little bit more, but in the series it was it was always Spock. Spock's brain did all the work, and that is a title that I don't think we're going to see cropping up in this list anywhere.
Yeah, it won't be the top 10 best.
No, it's never going to appear in any of those. So there we are. Arena, fantastic episode.
Right, let me give that a point.
Yep. Well, I had 2 points for that one.
Of course, 2 points for that.
So it's not on your list, this one.
No.
Oh, a great one that is not there.
I enjoy it. Yeah.
No,
very much. If I was doing a top 10, it would have been in the top 10.
Yeah.
So, right, let me bring up the next one. I think this is, I've got 3 pictures for it, but I think this one sums it up the best. Right.
All right.
So,
right, here we go. Let's just remove my one and bring this one up here. Oh, yes, yeah.
Instant recognition there.
Yeah.
All right, so this is from season 1. It's called This Side of Paradise. The crew of the Enterprise uncovers a colony on Omicron Ceti 3, where the inhabitants are thriving despite being bombarded by deadly radiation, all thanks to some alien spores that provide perfect health and total contentment. but it's at the cost of all human ambition.
Yeah. This is one of those science fiction stories where you can tell straight away it's actually a comment on, like, the world as it was in the late 60s. In fact, it applies perhaps even more today than it did to 1968. This is one that it's not in my list, but yeah, this is one of those that I thought, I can't leave this one out, but I had to. This is a fantastic episode. This is the sort of like great science fiction that Star Trek does really well.
Yeah, and you get to see Spock completely removed from his emotionless logic.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most that we see Spock with, actually allowing his emotions to come through. Even more so than the Ponfar episode. The title of that one escapes me. Was it just called Ponfar? Oh, okay. But I thought this was really well done. This is another one where, okay, threadbare budget, but I always thought that the effects on the plants and the way the spores shot out of it, I thought was really well done.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah. And the acting went with it. I mean, Kirk went a bit over the top when he cures himself.
Yeah, mind you, I mean, William Shatner going a bit over the top. You kind of expect it, but I've got no problem with it. I'm all right with that.
I mean, he did it more in season 3, just totally chewing the scenery. But
I know for certain that series 3 is going to get at least one mention tonight.
And and I also really enjoyed the bit where, because obviously to get rid of the spores, you have to make people angry.
Mm.
So if they get anger and violent emotions, actually kill the spores inside the human host. So it's when he baits Spock, he beams him up onto the Enterprise.
I think that's fantastic.
And he says you should be squatting on a mushroom. And
because really taking his life into his own hands. Spock's immense strength.
He beats the piss out of him. And he says, "You had enough now, Spock."
Yeah. It's great stuff. This is one of those where there's very little to pick apart. I thought the sets were, well done. This one, they were actually doing like actual outdoor settings. It wasn't done all in the studio, was it?
No, this is the only bits in the studio were the bits on the Enterprise.
On the Enterprise,
filmed in a Disney farm. This is a farm owned by the Disney company.
Oh, okay, I suppose it would have to be Disney owned, wouldn't it? Yeah. But I mean, but it really shows. It just looked so much better than the studio built planet sceneries. And you could clearly see that it was filmed on Earth. They made no real attempt to make it look all that alien, apart from the plants firing the spores in there. I had no problem with that. It doesn't detract from it at all. There is no reason to assume that just because it's another planet that it wouldn't have the same sort of like vegetation and that.
Exactly.
And plus, because they all went to be Earth colonists, so of course it's going to be inhabited by humans.
Agricultural colony that got sent there. And I think for the most part they chose their outdoor locations quite well. I know the one they used in your previous one, Arena, they overused that a bit. I think the Vasquez Rocks.
Yeah, I mean, with that one, I mean, it's almost like the Doctor Who using the quarries and that. It was always one of those locations where it's the first place they thought of, and they just ended up going there. And I do agree they overused that location.
That was used in Shore Leave. Where he fights the pretend bloke from his academy days, the Irish bloke Finnegan. He fights in there at Vasquez Rocks. Part of the one with the really bad one with a bloke called Lazarus in it. There were 2 of them.
I know the one you mean. Yeah.
That was filmed there as well.
That was a Series 3 one, wasn't it, that one?
No, season 2, actually.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Maybe I'm not thinking of the right one then.
They filmed, there's one more they filmed. I'm trying to remember now.
Well, didn't they also film some of Star Trek 5 there?
No, 4. That bit on Vulcan they filmed there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they used it but 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, it does crop up quite a bit. And like you say, yeah, a bit too much. I'm sure, especially when it came to the films, they could have chosen somewhere a bit different. But
yeah, and they're not exactly. You know, those rock formations are so unique. You know straight away that it's Vasquez rock.
That's right. I think the reason why they choose that location is for that reason, because of these like unique rock formations. But of course, it does backfire, because every time they use it, it's like, well, okay, we clearly know where this is, you know, because these rock formations are nowhere else.
I'll tell you where else they used it. The episode where they go down to a planet in season 2, Friday's Child, I think. And the Klingons they go negotiate with this tribe, and the Klingons ended up getting involved as well.
Oh, that's the one with Core, isn't it?
No, that was. This Klingon died.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not the one I was thinking of.
This is one. Yeah, the guys who had the big long ponytails and threw the boomerangy things.
They did do a few episodes with like, well, shall we say, native and using more sort of like primitive stuff. I think that's why I'm getting that, because I think the one that Core was in, they use that as well, or something.
Yes,
along
they do.
Lines. Yeah.
This is one where McCoy delivers a baby at the end in these cave in the Vasquez rocks.
I've certainly seen it, but it's not coming to me at the moment.
That's another one that's filmed there, so we've now got at least 5.
Yeah, certainly plenty to be getting on with. None of those episodes begin to compare with this one, though. It's a great one.
And I looked for some sort of trivia on this, and obviously Spock's love interest there is Jill Ireland, who was married to Charles Bronson at the time.
All right.
And he was on set glaring at Leonard Nimoy any time they had to do the scene together.
Yeah, I'm sure that made the filming feel really comfortable there.
Yeah, because Charles Bronson is not something you want to pick a fight with.
No, not at all. Right, just keep talking about this episode for a bit, because I have just discovered that my image for my next choice is absolutely tiny. I've definitely got to find a better image.
Okay, right. And what implication in this? Spock suddenly changes clothes from his Starfleet uniform to that sort of farming overalls. So that proves that he probably did the business with old Jill Ireland. And she said, "Hey, you're one of us. Now put these on."
Well, let's face it. I mean, you wouldn't turn down the opportunity to, get that business with her, would you?
Yeah, well, not with Charles Bronson glaring at me.
Well, that's true. Yeah, with him glaring away in the background, yeah, I might sort of think twice.
Yeah, I think she died of cancer quite young. I think in the late 70s or early 80s.
All right, I didn't know any about that.
Right.
There's always a sad ending that comes along in these stories, isn't there?
Yeah, well, we had the same in our Queen bid. I mean, that was inevitable, but.
Well, there we go. Another great choice there.
So that ranks 3 for me. Is that 3?
Yep.
And I presume it didn't quite make your top 5.
It very nearly did. So this was one of those ones that I thought, well, I'm going to have to leave it out, but it was a very reluctant, leaving it out of my list. So, yeah, it hasn't made it on there.
Not to worry. Right. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Right.
Okay, so we go on to my number 3. This is another one of those stories that instantly recognisable as soon as I bring up the image. This one is from Series 1, and well, let's add it. And there you go. The Devil in the Dark. With
There is no mistaking that.
yeah, with the Horta, surrounded by some of her eggs. I this was another one I first saw back when I was about like 8 years old, and initially it scared the hell out of me because it was really well filmed. Well, I thought so when I was 8. So you couldn't see the creature moving around. You just knew that there was something in these tunnels and it was attacking everyone. And it was sort of done a bit like a sort of sci-fi horror for kids sort of thing. You know, there was certainly enough there to scare the living daylights out of the kids watching.
Yeah, it's the slithering noise it makes, and the way, although you never saw it, they described the corpses it left. They were just charred bones.
Yeah.
Burned to a crisp, I think was the term they used.
Yeah. Now we'll get actually right. I'll address the issue that everyone seems to bring up with this episode, which is that the Horta costume looks awful. I've never thought that the Horta costume looked terrible. I always thought it looked pretty okay. Certainly more than good enough for what they were doing. And I always liked the idea that this was an alien creature that is not carbon based, it's silicon based life form.
So if somebody says it looks unrealistic, what should a silicon based creature
look like? Exactly. So it shoots that whole argument down in flames because we've got absolutely nothing that we can base any sort of like judgment on how it looks on at all. It's one of the things that gets me when they do all these sort of SETI things there, and they're looking for I'm not talking about science fiction here, talking about real life. They're looking for signs of intelligent life anywhere in they're really just looking in the Milky Way, aren't they?
Except once.
Oh, they did actually look further afield, did they?
They broke out the Milky Way and were on their way to Andromeda, weren't they, when their ship got hijacked by the people who turn you into cubes?
Oh, okay. Well, I was referring to like the SETI, like in real life.
Right.
Or,
yeah.
Like any sort of signals, and they always say the same thing. They're looking in systems where it's possible that there's water. Where they found all these exoplanets, and there's always the habitable zone, and it's always where water can be, can exist, and where there is also signs of carbon existing. And I always think, well, you're going on the assumption then that all possible life within the entire, we'll stick with just our galaxy for now, is going to be based on carbon and is going to need water to survive. The possibility of something like a silicon-based life form, I never even consider that.
Yeah.
And I have not seen any kind of evidence or anything at all that makes me think that it's not possible. So why do they then always limit themselves to searching for carbon-based stuff where water can exist? I mean, okay, granted, it's a pretty thin chance, but then finding any kind of life, away from this planet is a very, very thin chance.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they then narrow it down so that it has to be carbon-based, like here.
Probably because they're looking for places that we can colonize.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, it always sounds like Elon Musk type thinking whenever you start bringing up stuff like colonizing and that. I mean, we are not even remotely, at the stage where we could do that anywhere. Not even on the fucking moon.
For more than a couple of days.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's looking a long old way ahead, but yeah, I suspect that is what they're looking for, rather than looking for these signs of extraterrestrial
Yeah,
intelligence that the whole thing is about. Anyway, I have diverted quite a bit
yeah.
from
The,
from this story.
the opening narration for Star Trek was new life forms and new civilizations. That's what we're
Yeah,
looking
there you
for.
go. Yeah.
There we go.
Well, they certainly found a new one with this one.
Yeah,
Um, But I
and
always like the idea that, it was initially presented that this was a creature that was just attacking for no reason, and that this was the enemy, or or the antagonist, or whatever. Of course, as the story goes on, we find out that that is certainly not the case. In fact, it's protecting. Well, yeah, you can see them in the image there. You got the eggs
yeah.
behind her, and that's what the creature is protecting. And the miners had been. Was it
Uh,
that the miners were stealing them,
they were
or were they just
stealing them,
damaging them?
blowing them up when they were making new tunnels.
Hmm,
And yeah, because they had one on display when the Enterprise crew first lands on the planet Office.
hmm,
Spock says, fascinating. What is this? And the miner chief says, "Oh, it's just a silicon nodule. There's loads of them in the tunnels."
uh,
And then Spock does his eyebrow raise.
yeah, so he suspects,
Yeah,
straight off the bat, yeah, there's more to it than just being a mere silicone nodule. Um, Of course, we get the mind meld. I don't think this was the first time we saw a mind meld, was it?
no, no, that was Dagger of the Mind.
Uh,
When they in the mental asylum.
mm. But I thought that the mind meld scene in this one, I think it's one of the most memorable of the series. I just thought it was really well
Yeah,
done.
that's when he goes, pain,
That's
pain.
it, yeah. And that's when they see clearly the injury that the Horta has, and
Yeah,
they get McCoy. I think, doesn't he just use like cement or something
yeah,
to heal him?
silicon glue or something.
Yeah,
And he says, "I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer."
yeah, that's it. Yeah,
I think that was
and
one of
then
his best ones.
yeah, and then when it does work, he says, "Was it? I'm starting to think I could cure a bad day or
Yeah, a rainy
something."
day or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
So yeah,
No, this
it
was
gave the crew like plenty of great lines to come out, come out with. Gave Ned and Nimoy the chance to really shine, say with the mind meld scene there. I think he really pulled that off like
oh, he
really
did,
well.
yeah. And
And
I was going to say behind the scenes, and it's quite evident from your photo there. William Shatner was not there for a lot of it because he found out either his mum or his dad had died during the filming of this.
all right,
So he jetted off, and that is his stuntman or standing.
he's standing. Yeah, you can
Yeah,
clearly see it's not Shatner, can't you? And yeah, the hair is all wrong, and yeah.
no, that's probably his real hair for a start.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But this was another one. Okay, it wasn't like Doomsday Machine or Arena where it was like straight away, yeah, those two are down here. But once I remembered this one, I was like, oh, there's no way in hell I'm going to leak this one out.
Oh,
This
exactly.
is the one that pushed Arena down to fourth. So,
And yeah, I might as well say it is on my list.
oh, it is.
Yeah, oh yes.
So, whereabouts is it on yours?
Oh, well, there's only two to pick from, so
Yeah.
well, you'll find out in a minute.
Oh, okay. So, I was just going to say, this isn't your number one, is it? Or is it?
You're going to find out in the next minute or two. Oh yeah, I love it. I think this is a social commentary, maybe on the rainforest destruction. Something
Yeah,
like that.
it's definitely along those lines. Yeah, and the mindless hunting of like endangered animals and stuff like that. Yeah, it's definitely another one of those episodes. I really like those ones. So
Oh yeah,
it does everything right.
yeah. And the creature's malignant at the start, apparently,
Mm,
just murdering people. No, in the end, it's a mother protecting
yeah,
its children,
yeah,
and they even because Spock was able to talk to it, and it learned English from Spock because it burned help me or something.
That's right. Yes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes, the help me thing.
Yeah. No, it was no kill eye.
I see. Yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no kill eye.
So they actually learned to work together. So they had a deal. You know, the creature would do all their tunneling for them because it naturally secretes acid.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
tunneling is not a problem.
they just stay the fuck away from all those eggs.
Yeah. So yeah, it has had a good outcome. I totally agree with you about the start. It portrays it as being a completely malignant creature, and then just completely turns it all around. And yeah, it's just a fantastic episode. The more I think about it, I should have put this higher, but mind you, when I look at my top two, I just can't. This has to be at number 3 for me.
Okay, right. Well, I'll put. Where are we?
We can put my score on.
Your score's on here.
Devil on the Dark, or Devil in the Dark, I should say.
Right.
So that one.
Okay, so my number 2, big reveal. I think this is the picture that we can use for this. Right. Come on, StreamYard, get on with it.
Yeah, streaming on a Saturday always goes well on here, doesn't it? Right. Okay. So Devil in the Dark was your number 1.
Yes. So I'm going to add 5 points to it straight off.
So that has beaten the Doomsday Machine then?
It has, only by 1 point.
Yeah.
Right, this one. This is from season 1. And it's called Balance of Terror.
Yeah.
I'll do a quick summary. This is a deadly game of cat and mouse between Captain Kirk and a Romulan commander whose cloaked starship has been methodically obliterating Federation border outposts. And that is exactly, that is really a summary of what it is. But it's the dramatic tension that they crammed into this was
totally
unbelievable.
Yeah, clearly based on like the submarine.
The enemy below. It's and I think even the course they stick to is the same. 040 or something like that.
Oh, I can't remember the details to that level. No. Obviously, the first time we saw the Romulans in the series.
And the first time we see Mark Leonard.
And he certainly became quite the regular face in throughout the whole bloody thing.
Well, he's played 3 races now, hasn't he?
Romulan, Vulcan, and Klingon, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was Klingon in the first bit of the motion picture.
That's right, yeah.
But
I only found out about that quite recently. It was only about the last sort of 2 years or so ago. I couldn't believe, when I read that, it's like, that was Mark Leonard. I had to watch that scene a few times, and you really can't tell it's him.
Well, that was the sort of new look Klingons, wasn't it? So it was very difficult to tell what the actual actor underneath all that prosthetic facial makeup did actually look like.
Yeah, I mean, even the voice was completely different as well. So they did a great job on that one. Obviously, as far as Star Trek goes, everyone is just going to know him for the part of Sarek. But this was when he made his debut. A bit like Nicholas Courtney in Doctor Who. Everyone knows him as Lethbridge Stewart, but when he made his actual debut in Doctor Who, he was someone totally different.
Yeah. And not only that, see the geezer behind him in that picture? He played Spock's love rival in the Pomfar episode.
Oh, okay. I can't even remember what he looked like in that episode.
Oh, definitely. If you watch it again, you'll see it instantly.
Yeah. So I
Scotland or
definitely
something.
definitely need to see some more of these. It's been too long since I've seen, you know, not this one. This is the episode I've seen quite a bit. I'm totally with you. I think this is a fantastic one. It
And
didn't make my list, but it was another one that only just missed out. In fact, right up to about 10 minutes before we started, I was still considering replacing my number 5 with this. So at least we managed to avoid that duplicate.
yeah, but I mean, the thing is, we could watch them. We could watch them all now, all 79 episodes, and your top 5 may shift.
Yeah,
Again,
it probably would.
because you
Yeah,
see things that you didn't remember before, and
yeah.
it's brilliant. One thing I do remember from this is when they actually hack into the Romulan signal, and they're able to get a visual, and he turns out he looks just like a Vulcan. They all start staring at Spock.
Yeah, that's it. There's suddenly all the suspicions are all towards
Yeah.
Spock. I mean, it was, I think, slightly overdone, only slightly, because there was really no reason to have any suspicions of Spock because they knew that these were not Vulcans, even though they are clearly sort of like offshoots of the Vulcans or evolutionary
Yeah.
tree, whatever. No, I think even Spock himself even says that this lot are offshoots from of Vulcan, but they have not found the piece of logic or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and therefore they are going to be extremely hostile. And yeah, so it was proven to be.
And then you said, up until now, no Vulcan or Romulan has ever seen the other as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Came out with that. Obviously, that all changed in season 3.
Yeah.
But it was that navigator, Styles or something.
That's it, Styles. Yeah.
And he was the one who said when he had the computer trying to translate their signals, Styles goes, "Oh yes, give it a Spock. I bet he can do it."
Yeah.
Having a jive there.
Yeah, he got quite a few jives in, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Kirk literally grabbed him his back of his chair and swung him round and said, "You will not. There's no bigotry here on this bridge ever. You got it."
Yeah.
But it did have quite a sad ending, didn't it?
Well, quite the honourable sort of ending. Was it if we met in any other circumstances, I'd like to think I would be calling you friend or something along those lines, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then he went and self-destructed. But there was lots, very much like that the submarine film that it sort of borrowed heftily from.
Yeah.
They did a lot of sneaky tricks, like when they did get hit but not badly damaged, they had a few casualties. He said, "Oh yeah, put them in the tubes and disperse them out, so that the Enterprise would think that they're bodies."
Yeah, and that is straight from the Second World War submarine sort of conflicts and that. Yeah, definitely.
And they also staying absolutely still so they can't pinpoint each other.
But the whole silent running thing as well.
Yeah.
It seems slightly unusual. Again, this is one where you probably want to put, if you're looking for the science side of science fiction, you may want to put it to one side because you're not really going to pick up a great deal of audio while you're out in the void of space. But with all science fiction, they always sort of like overlook that one, and I'm quite happy to go along with it. I'm not going to let that spoil how much I enjoy a Star Trek episode.
It was, well, I don't think it was audio as such. It was a signal of some sorts, but it was something to do with their cloaking device, wasn't it?
I know it was some sort of weakness in the cloaking device, yeah.
And Kirk sort of led them through a comet's tail that actually made them show up.
That's right, yeah.
Something like that, didn't he?
I think, was it? Yeah, the Romulans were the first one we saw in Star Trek to use cloaking device. I don't think the Klingons had anything like that, did they? That didn't crop up until... Well, maybe it was in a later series. It certainly hadn't appeared until this point. The Romulan cloak ship was the first cloak vessel I think we'd had, wasn't it?
Yeah. But then in season 3, they steal it from the Romulans. So how come we never used it in the movies?
Well, I mean, of course, the Federation never used it because of the Treaty of Algernon.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You need to watch the episode Pegasus for that one.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I'll put that on my list. And there was another sort of sad bit because remember at the start of the episode, Kirk is marrying 2 people.
Yes, yeah.
And it gets interrupted when they get the red alert that the outpost has been bombed. And then I think later on, they actually have another attempt at the wedding, and they finally marry about halfway through.
Yes.
And then the bloke who works in the phaser room gets killed, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's right. The marriage sort of like lasts, half an episode.
Yeah. So, and then they had Kirk trying to comfort the wife at the end after they all died. So, it did have quite a somber ending.
Yeah, that's in several ways, this one. And I think it worked out quite well for that, especially the ending when they do defeat the Romulans. I always thought it was a bit of a shame that with Next Generation, they made the Romulans pretty vile. They had nothing about them that you sort of liked. Whereas in this and in the other Romulan episode with the Romulan woman that's captured and is on the Enterprise.
The Enterprise incident.
Yeah. Again, there were things about the Romulans that you actually liked, and then when Next Generation came along, they just got rid of all of that. I really didn't like the way the Romulans were portrayed in Next Generation onwards.
And J.J. Abrams made it even worse.
Well, J.J. Abrams does nothing but make things a hell of a lot worse,
All right, so there we go.
There we are.
That gets 4 points.
Yeah, 4 very deserved points. Great episode, that one.
Right, okay, I'll stop my sharing.
Alrighty.
Your number 2 now.
We'll bring up my number 2, which again you will recognise immediately. This is from Series 3. So, Series 3 did have some good episodes.
I have a feeling we may have mentioned this one.
No, it's not that one. It's another one. Right, so it is. There we go. Let that be your last battlefield.
Oh, yes, with Fiddler, or Riddler, wasn't it?
Yep, Frank Gorshin. And I'll freely admit that the reason why I was such a fan of this to begin with was because it had Frank Gorshin in it. He's Beale, and the other guy there is Loki. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays him. There's nothing subtle about this episode at all. It's clearly about racism, and I think this is fantastically done. This one.
And did you know in this one the guy who was a cinematographer worked on Batman? That's why you have all those funny camera angles.
All right.
The camera doesn't quite look straight. It looks like it's tilted over.
Yeah.
Which they use a lot in Batman, but they did it with this.
Okay, so we got a second Batman connection in this one.
Yes.
But I freely admit I think Frank Gorshin does steal the show in this one. Yeah, I just think he is superb in almost every scene he's in. There's one where I'm not so keen. At the end when they've arrived at the planet Charon. Of course, they found that everyone's dead and the whole planet is completely burnt. And they are running to the transporter. The way they have Beale sort of like running during that, you think, why is he running like that? He's sort of like.
Yeah, because he's getting all those flashbacks of burning.
That's right, yeah.
Burning buildings and streets and everything,
You can clearly see that the flashbacks have all come from World War II footage. I wish they'd redone the shots of him running because he just looked a bit a bit stupid.
Yeah,
That's the only. I mean, it's a very minor criticism, and it's the only one I have.
Yeah, he was sort of flailing around as he was running, wasn't he?
Yeah, but yeah, I should actually do what you were doing and find the synopsis of this so that I can tell a bit of this story. I suspect most people watching this will be very familiar with this one. Here we are. So, right, where's the? Here we go. Right, storyline. So, while on a mission of mercy, the Enterprise comes across a shuttlecraft that's stolen from Starbase 4. Its occupant is Lokai, a humanoid who is exactly half black and half white. Soon his pursuer, Commissioner Beale, arrives on board, demanding that Lokai be turned over to him for transport to their home planet, where Lokai has been convicted as a terrorist. Both men have extraordinary powers, and it turns out the pursuit has lasted 50,000 years. I think that was a bit over the top.
Yeah.
Their hatred of one another is racially based, and despite attempts by Kirk and others, they are not prepared to reconcile. The pursuit ends on their home planet when they learn the fate of their races. So yeah, that's the story synopsis.
Yeah. That's conveniently happened right after the civil rights movement.
Yeah, so there was absolutely nothing subtle about the the not very hidden racism message of this episode, but sometimes sometimes that works really well. Best example is Planet of the Apes, one of the greatest science fiction films made. Now, it's very obviously an anti-nuclear film. I don't care that the it's not subtly done. It's so good that I'm quite happy to go along with it. And this definitely falls under that category as well.
Yeah, I quite like some of the commentary in the episodes. The blatant one. I mean, there was a Vietnam one, wasn't there? Where the Klingons were arming one side and Kirk ended up arming the other side, but
yeah,
didn't give them more advanced weapons. He maintained the status quo.
Yeah. Which, the old, was it Prime Directive? Yeah, kind of went out the window with that one.
Yes.
This one does have some moments where William Shatner is really chewing the scenery, especially the final scenes when he's trying to convince them to that, look, your chase is over. When he says, listen to me, it is a bit overdone. I think it could be the most over the top that Shatner's over the top acting got, but the point was made. The best lines, I think, were saved right at the very end when they were talking about. Was it Sulu says that their planet's dead. What does it matter? And Spock says, all that matters to them is their hate.
Yeah.
And then Uhura is saying, do you think that's all they ever had? And Kirk says, no, but it's all they have left. That was well done. Sort of like a bit of dialogue there.
And it was clever how they made them like black and white, and the reason they hated each other was because the side of them that was one particular colour.
Yeah. So exactly. They made it so ridiculously petty because that was the whole point. Look, the colour of someone's skin is no reason to hate them. And it's another one where it's not a very subtle trick, and it's been used quite a lot in sci-fi. But it just shows how ridiculous some of the concepts that we are living with actually are by making it turning into such a petty example of it, and yet the reaction is exactly the same as it is. Well, it certainly was in the 60s. Again, even more so now. It just really works.
It's very good. It does deserve to be up there.
Yeah, it's a great one. This is one of those episodes I've watched this time and time again. Quite happy to watch this one over and over as many times as you like.
Right, let me just give that a.
So that'll be 4. Get 4. Is my number 2. I think that means that we have had both of our number 1s.
We have. So,
with your number one being Devil in the Dark. For some reason, I'm a bit surprised that was your number one. I mean, I knew you liked the episode. I mean, it's one of those episodes I think every Star Trek fan likes that one. But I had no idea you liked it enough for it to be your number one.
Oh yeah, I could watch that over and over and over again. Never gets old.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, your number one there, Devil in the Dark, and we've also had my number one with Doomsday Machine. That was another one. I had a feeling it would be on your list because it's one of those episodes every Star Trek fan knows it, off by heart, and with good reason because it's just such a great episode.
And it's probably got one of the best guest acting performances in any Star Trek ever.
Yeah. So that is our top fives, but as we have said a few times in this, we got to have some honourable mentions because there are so many other great episodes that we couldn't fit. Now, I remember you saying that you had a couple in mind.
Yeah, let me just find the paper. So yeah, just to confirm, Devil in the Dark got a ranking score of 8, so that's first place.
Yeah, that's one.
Closely followed by the Doomsday Machine at 7, and they are ranked a lot higher than all the others. So we have Balance and Terror and the Frank Gorshin one came joint third.
Well, I got no arguments with that top three. All absolutely legendary episodes. I'll be more than happy to watch all three of those. Yeah, one straight. Well, actually, all four because we've got joint thirds there. Yeah, one straight after the other. No problem. Sounds like sounds pretty good to me, actually. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I've got 3 honourable mentions. So I'll go by. They're not in any particular order.
Right.
Okay. So the first one, which I think is quite underrated, is Return of the Archons from season 1.
Right. I know the title. Let me see if I.
I'll give you this. I'll give you the synopsis.
Yeah.
So the crew visits the planet Beta 3, where the local population is controlled by a seemingly benevolent hidden ruler called Landru.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Who forces the society into a mindless, blissful state of conformity. But then, once a year, they have what they call the Red Hour, where they all go absolutely mental and beat the piss out of each other, often resulting in deaths. There's even something that looks like a rape scene. You see it in shadow.
Mm.
And
the thing that I remember most about this particular episode is there's a drinking game you can play while watching this, which is you take a swig every time the word Landru is spoken. However, I highly recommend you don't try it because you'll be dead from severe alcohol poisoning before you're even halfway through the episode. It is, to put it mildly, somewhat overused.
Yeah, when they say, it's the will of Landru.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No, this was the first episode, I think, where Kirk comes up with a solution instead of Spock helping him. And Landru ends up being a very old alien computer system. And Kirk manages to use logic to outwit it, and it self-destructs. Which he's done a few times, actually.
Mm. Yeah, it's, the thing about an old computer system is one that did crop up a few times in Star Trek with varying results, shall we say. Some episodes were okay, some were pretty terrible. I'm not the biggest fan of episodes where it's not just Star Trek either, it's in any of them. Any sci-fi where the enemy is a computer that has sort of gone wrong, or it's been programmed to think of itself as superior to anything and everything else. And I'm not the biggest fan of those stories. So yeah, this episode, it was never going to be my on my list. This one.
What I liked, it was very sort of creepy when you had the people with the robes going around with the staffs.
Mm.
So you thought it was a bit like Army of Darkness a little bit.
I mean, that's one comparison I was not expecting.
Well, then,
yeah.
you know when all the people suddenly appear out of nowhere and watching them, yeah, because they did that as well. They said Landru is summoning the body.
Mm.
And all the people just stop what they're doing and start picking up weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that part of it is what I like the most about it.
Alrighty. Yeah, that's that one is not a particular favourite of mine, I must admit.
Okay, well, that's my first honourable mention.
Right. Now, I rather stupidly didn't write down my particular honourable mentions, but the first one, I'm going to go way back to the very start, Series 1, The Man Trap.
Yes.
It's I think this gets rather unfairly overlooked. I always like the way this one was done. I think the only reason anyone sort of ever talks about it is just because it was the first episode that was it the first one that was broadcast?
Yeah, it was the first one that was aired, but it wasn't the first one produced.
No, because we had the two pilot episodes. I think actually this wasn't even the first that was made of this series, was it?
It was a season 1, but you can tell because they're using the new style Vela shirts. Whereas the ones in the very early, the pilot one, and
very
the
different.
Baylock. There's a Baylock one as well. You know, the one with Clint Howard.
The Corbomite maneuver.
Corbomite maneuver, yeah.
That was another one I was thinking about maybe having in my list as an honourable mention. That one I thought was pretty well done. I mean, everyone knows the Baylock. Well, it wasn't actually Baylock, was it? It was just like a puppet that was there.
Yeah.
But everyone remembers it because it's always the last thing that appears during the end credits.
Yeah. And obviously, no one can forget the Ted Cassidy voice that.
Yeah. As far as Man Trap. I always thought it was a much better episode than just being, known for being the first episode that was actually aired. It's I thought it was quite well done with the creature, and
yes,
I actually thought the effects on the creature, the actual costume. I thought, again, considering the budget that this show had or didn't have, as it's probably more accurately put, I always thought that looked pretty good.
Yeah, and the sort of poor old Dr. McCoy can't bring himself to kill it, even though it's
right.
Even though sucking all the salt out of Captain Kirk's body.
Yeah. So, and he knows that it is the creature and it's not her, but of course he can still only see her.
Yeah.
And he just can't do it. I love the way that Spock is trying to convince him that it's not her. When he's like, if this was, I can't remember her name now, but if this was her. That's it, Nancy. If this was really Nancy, would she be able to take this?
Well,
he's like spanking it and
he's
punching
doing a very weird double-handed punch like that.
Which
and they made a gif of that where he just loops over and over. But if this really was Nancy, do you think she could take this?
Yeah.
And then Nancy swats him aside like a fly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that deserves an honourable mention. That is an excellent.
That's a great one. That it was a great way to get the series started. Significantly better way of starting the series than Next Generation got with their opener.
Is that the one where McCoy's in it as an old man, isn't it?
Yeah. Bloody hell!
It's far.
Encounter at Farpoint. That's it. Yeah. God, it's coma-inducing. It's so boring, and they made it a two-parter.
Right, well, we will stop now because this could be the content for a future
That's true.
video.
Yes. Yeah. A future video. So yeah, we'll keep Next Generation comments to a minimum.
Right, okay. My next honourable mention. These are all ones that aren't really considered classics, but I really like them. This one is from season 2. It is The Deadly Years.
Right, let me check
off in
this.
here.
I'm not, as you may have already figured out, I'm not great with the titles, but
Right.
once I hear the what they're about, then I remember. Oh yeah, I do know this one. This is a great one.
Yeah, so the synopsis is an uncharted planet exposes the landing party to a strange radiation that causes the crew, including Captain Kirk, to rapidly age, both physically and mentally. And you literally see Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty.
Yeah, I think it is Scotty. Yeah.
Yeah, they all end up looking about 90 years old. You see them gradually deteriorate.
Yeah. I actually think the aging makeup that they used, I thought worked really well. I thought they did better than like some of the modern stuff that they use. So yeah, they got the makeup effects on that great, and I thought that the way Kirk William Shatner's performance, as he's like constantly forgetting everything that he's already ordered and stuff like that. Again, that was really well done.
Yeah.
But another one of those where people criticise his acting. I'll say, watch that episode and tell me that his acting's no good.
Yeah, he was excellent in that.
Yeah.
And it was because Chekhov went down with them to the landing by, and he didn't age. And the reason was he came across one of the bodies of someone who was on the planet who was just dying. It was a dead old man, and it scared the shit out of him. And it ended up being his adrenaline that caused him not to get affected.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's right. The other scenes that I particularly remember is the court martial scene. Once they're going through, is Kirk, still fit to command and that. Again, I thought that was well done because clearly, Spock is doing this very much against his will. He doesn't want to be trying to take command from Kirk, and Kirk thinks that that's exactly what he is trying to do. And that I thought was really well done.
Yeah, and it all goes because that bloody bureaucrat, Commodore Stocker, ends up assuming command.
Yeah,
and then he ends up nearly getting them blown up by the Romulans.
Yeah, I don't know who it is who plays the Commodore in this.
Charles Drake.
It has one of the most distinctive voices you've ever heard.
Oh yeah, well I think he obviously smoked about 3 times as much as you.
That would certainly explain it. Yeah.
But and then Kirk sort of de-ages just in time, and he uses the Corbomite bluff again.
Yeah, again, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously the Romulan footage was used again.
Yeah, they did. I mean,
wasn't there one episode where they're being attacked by the Klingons, and they ended up being Romulans because they recycled. They were Romulan ships, the Warbirds, and then Kirk says to Spock, they look like Romulans, or it was one way or the other, and then Spock says, Klingons are using Romulan design.
Yeah, I think it was the other way around. Yeah, it's the Romulans who are using Klingon ships. Because I remember, I can't actually remember what the episode was, but I've seen the clip loads of times.
Day of the Dove, I think.
That could be it. Because I remember watching it thinking, hang on, this is supposed to be Romulans, but they are clearly Klingon ships that they are using.
Yeah, I think it was Day of the Dove, because I know it was season 3. And Klingons are only in it on Day of the Dove, which is Kang, wasn't it? Where that entity was on board and made them hate each other.
Yeah, that's right.
Fight a constant war, and they all healed up.
Yeah, that's it. They beat it because they're all standing there laughing at him, laughing at the entity in there.
Yeah.
Is it Kang? He sort of like slaps Kirk on the back. Yeah, I thought that was great. That
Yeah,
Kang was a great Klingon.
yeah,
One
he
of the
was.
best
Yeah,
ones from the original series.
yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't like
he
that
was
because
great.
Chekhov goes all rapey on Kang's wife, doesn't he?
Yeah, it got very close to crossing a line, but
Mm.
thankfully they sort of held back a bit.
Yeah, that got through the censors, but Kirk kissing a black woman, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. We're not having that. Oh dear, Jesus Christ.
Right, that was my honourable mention, and
So
yeah,
honourable
it's
mention number 2, or
yes.
my one. Or unless you want to, do you want to do your next honourable mention first, and then I'll do my last couple.
No, you go for it. I've only
Mm.
got one after that one.
My next one, again, pretty well known. Probably most well known because it's the only one that was a two-parter. So that's given away what it is. The Menagerie. I mean, okay, it was basically a way to get the pilot episode, aired, but I think there's a lot more to it than that. The effects, the makeup effects that they used on the sort of incapacitated Captain Pike, I thought actually,
Oh
again,
yeah,
for the time, I thought that worked quite well. Um,
yeah, because they used someone who was in a previous episode
mm,
to play him. Because I think what's the name of the guy who played
yeah,
Pike?
the guy, original guy, I can't remember his name, but yeah, he didn't want to come back, did he?
Oh, he was killed in an accident.
Oh, okay, I didn't know
So,
about that. Bloody hell.
Is it Jeffrey somebody?
I can soon find out. I would if I had the right series up. Right.
Jeffrey Hunter. Got it.
Yeah, you're right, Jeffrey Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, I
pretty
didn't
sure.
know that. That's
Yeah, I'm
why
pretty sure he
they
got
did it.
killed by something falling on his head or something like that.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know anything about that. Um,
Hang on, I'll
and
find out.
well, the guy they got to replace him. I mean, okay, he's under a ton of makeup and all that, but the similarity was there. It's not like he looked like a completely different guy. Of course, I love the ending to it. The ending is it's a great one. It's you sort of think, yeah, that's the ending that he deserved.
Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, because I'd never seen that pilot. I saw that double episode before I ever saw the pilot.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
I didn't realise either then because I was obviously a lot younger, and I thought, oh, they've got all these new actors in and new different Enterprise and all that.
Mm.
So I thought it might be sort of some sort of spin-off, but obviously it wasn't. It was the reused pilot.
So just reusing the pilot. But I quite liked the Talosians. I liked the way they were very complicated all the way through it. You sort of didn't know if they were, if they were a malignant race or what, and it very slowly sort of like started to reveal the truth about what they were all about, and the pacing was spot on in that regard. Obviously, if you had seen the pilot episode prior to watching the Menagerie, you knew exactly how it was going to end. But I thought it was all like great stuff there.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand the whole, the way they retrofitted it, but the stuff that Spock did, they says, if you go against General Order, whatever it was, and go to Talos, it is punishable by death. Obviously, nothing happened to him at all.
No, well, they once it's been revealed that the whole court-martial thing was all faked and it was just more of the Talosians' illusions. They get a communique from the starport that they had left, where Commodore, who was it? Anyway, the Commodore, I can't remember which one it was.
Played by Jose Ferrer, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the transmission of the court martial, they'd received it, so they knew what the Enterprise was doing. So they said, in this one instance, because of the importance of Captain Pike and that, they will dismiss the charge this one time. So they were able to beam him down there completely legitimately and leave. And there were, the charges were like dropped. Yeah.
Presidential pardon.
Mm.
Right, yeah. I must have just missed that when I last watched it. Commodore Mendez, that's it.
That's it, yeah.
Right, yeah. That was good because I'd never seen the pilot. In fact, it wasn't until I got a VHS of the original pilot as it was on eBay. I think when I was actually able to watch it all from start to finish, the pilot. Right. There's lots of bits in there that weren't included in the menagerie.
Yeah. I got to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of the pilot when I saw it. I actually prefer the sort of like edited version as it appears in the menagerie. I mean, it could just be me, but the pilot wasn't bad.
Neither was Paramount. They weren't fond of the first pilot.
No, they weren't. It was the second pilot that really sort of like got their interest in it. Yeah.
Right, that was a good honourable mention. Right, so my last honourable mention is from season 2, and it is The Changeling.
Okay, that surprises me.
Right. Now, I'll give you my reasons. The quick synopsis is the Enterprise encounters Gnome, an ancient, corrupted Earth space probe that has rewritten its own programming to sterilize any biological life that it deems imperfect.
Yeah.
Which ends up being, the whole human race.
Yeah.
And it gets Kirk muddled up with Jackson Roy Kirk, who was the original creator of it.
The original creator of it.
Now, obviously, the main reason I like this is because that became the blueprint for the motion picture.
Exactly, yeah. It's basically the storyline of the motion picture, isn't it? Yeah.
Without all the extra padding in. And I quite like that storyline.
I think it's a fantastic storyline, yeah. I mean, I've said it on plenty of occasions. The motion picture, I think, is the best Star Trek film made. But I do have issues with this episode. This episode drives me to distraction. It's another one like the Landru one, right? Yeah, another drinking game. Take a swig every time this thing says "I am Nomad," and again, you're not even halfway through it, and you're dead from severe alcohol poisoning. You do sort of think, couldn't the script writers have put a little bit of variation in it somewhere?
Who provided the voice of Nomad?
I know it's someone quite well known.
It was very well known in Star Trek.
Yeah. Go on, him.
James Doohan.
Yes. It's slightly different to the voice we usually got from him. Yeah.
So he dual voiced that because he actually dies in the episode, Scotty. Nomad sort of blows him against the wall.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Yeah, he actually
probably
gets
just
killed.
as well because I'm too big a fan of Scotty to be able to put up with that.
No, but he Nomad actually brought him back to life, repaired him.
Okay.
And he says, "I will effect repairs." And he also makes Uhura lose all her memory of everything.
I think it doesn't. It does a few of those sort of like tricks with everyone on the crew, doesn't it?
It was just the only casualties was Scotty and Uhura, I think.
Oh, okay.
He does. Right. He does knock a few red shirts out.
Well, yeah, but let's face it, that's what they're there
for. Doesn't everybody
do
that?
Yeah. Actually, I noticed with the thumbnail that you made for this, you made yourself a blue shirt and I'm a yellow shirt, and here I am in this video and I'm a red shirt. So I'm wondering if I'm actually going to survive to the end.
Your days are fucking numbered. So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Well, I've made it an hour and 41 minutes, so I might just about make it to the end. I'll keep a lookout though, just as we approach the end of this.
For sort of a rogue phaser beam. Yeah, so that was why I liked it. I like the concept of it. I didn't. I like the whole repairing Scotty, bringing him back to life, and all that. And obviously, they did the exact same story on a much grander scale in the motion picture.
Yeah. So the storyline I'm fine with, especially say the improved version when they used for the motion picture. I think it's always going to be my favourite Star Trek film, especially when you look at what Star Trek is like now. Jesus Christ, there's no way they're going to do anything that's even remotely as good as motion picture now.
Or the original series, I wouldn't even be able to match that.
Yeah. At the moment, I'd be amazed if they do anything that was even sort of like up to the level of Voyager. I mean, it really does show how bad Star Trek has got that it has you sort of like longing for the good old days of Voyager. You know.
Oh no! And the only thing I liked about Voyager was the theme music.
Even that's a bit of a stretch for me. That one. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So the fact that it's effectively this episode gave birth to a motion picture. I mean, there's no way I'm going to hold that against it. But yeah, there's a lot of things in this episode that just really grind my gears, and the number of times I sit in there thinking, I just wish that fucking thing would shut up. And I am Nomad. Oh, really? You haven't reminded me in the last minute and a half, so I'm glad you told me.
That's 1960s sci-fi imagination of AI, I suppose.
Yeah. Let's be honest, it weren't that far off the mark. At least certainly not with a lot of AI.
Well, that Glock one.
Right, so I'll have my final honourable mention, and yeah, it's an episode that did actually get a bit of a mention earlier. You thought it was going to be on my list, but turns out it isn't. It just missed out, and because it was so close, it's got to be on the honourable mentions list. So yeah, from Series 3, the Tholian Web. There is something about the Tholians. I just think they are such a great idea for an alien race, and I've always sort of wished that they appeared more in the various Star Trek series.
That sort of geometry shaped heads they had, and everything. Yeah.
It's I think they were supposed to be sort of like slightly insectoidal, and completely xenophobic, which that's not particularly original, but there was a lot of potential there, and it just went completely unused. And then, of course, the technology that they had when creating, the web itself. The only sort of like drawback I have is that web did not seem to take a long time for them to actually put together. And I was thinking, well, if the ship wasn't sort of like either incapacitated, or in the case of the Enterprise, it was staying there because Kirk was in and out.
He was sort of stuck in some sort of interdimensional void, wasn't he?
Which I think also, again, with the like you were saying earlier with the Tholians, they're like from like a different dimension sort of thing. So I think they're somewhere between that sort of like gateway that the Enterprise was stuck in, and when Kirk would constantly be phasing into our like dimension and then out again. That could again have been something else that they could have used in other Star Trek episodes with the Tholians, especially as later Star Trek they really did like to use their techno babble. This gave them plenty of opportunities to do so, and it just never got used. But anyway, like I sort of strayed off my own point there, but. Yeah, the web itself did take quite a while to put together. I think they needed to speed that up a little bit.
They could have knitted it faster.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Tholian web, the Tholian jumper, the Tholian crochet,
sweater, yeah. I mean, I really liked the episode. There was a cringe moment in there. I thought, you had to go there, didn't you? Where Uhura sees Kirk. he's floating in this interdimensional void somewhere, and people do see him. He flashes in and then disappears.
Yeah, that's right.
And she goes hysterical and goes, "Doctor, I've seen Captain. He's alive." And he goes, "Of course you have. We'd all like to see him." Yeah, you're just being hysterical and delusional.
Yeah, this is supposed to be a doctor in the 23rd century, isn't it? Yeah. And so to dismiss something like that, it didn't really ring sort of like true. You think, no, you would take something like that a lot more seriously. And yeah, I get what you're saying there. Yeah, the sort of almost dismissive nature of it. Yeah, that didn't. That wasn't good script writing.
Her hysteria when she could have just said, "No, I literally just saw him and he was floating," but she went all hysterical. Then him just, "Oh, you're just what babbling bullshit is it? Shut up."
So yeah, that's I agree with you. That is a bit of a negative point on that one, but I mean, it's probably about the only negative thing in that particular episode. You know, the rest of it I thought was great. Good original story idea. Great alien race that got introduced. I mean, it had a lot there that was just like done really well. I just wish that they'd used it a bit more. You know.
Yeah, and they did that in the actual look of the alien when they're talking on the view screen.
Yeah.
They did another one in season 3 that I thought looked really good. It was the one
the Melkoshian.
He sent them to the OK Corral. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I thought the Melkoshian design was really well done, because that one, it wasn't so geometric. It actually, I mean, immediately it looked like it was just sort of like a big sort of like octopus thing that was just floating in the air. I'm with you on that. I thought the design on that was great. There's another one that you sort of think, yeah, they could have brought that back. You know, bring some aliens back that were, clearly different to, humanoid form, rather than the direction that they did go. Again, especially in Voyager, where it was basically, put something on the top of their nose or change their ears a bit. There you go. They're a new alien race. You know, and it was really lazy sort of alien
they all
ideas.
Speak English as well.
Yeah. So of course, everyone speaks English. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, there we go. I think the top 5. We got an outright winner and a very close second. I think I can't argue with those at all.
No, I certainly can't. That entire list. You got some. I was going to say
we can't finish this without nominating a fucking stinker. And there's quite a few to choose from.
Yeah, there are. Is this where everybody instantly goes and looks at series 3 and says, right, okay, what's the worst one from here?
Well, yeah, I mean, most of them would be on there. I mean, I know my one, and it's not the one that everybody thinks.
Yeah, I must admit, my worst one is series 3. It's not Spock's brain, although that would probably be the second worst. But yeah. Now, do you want to go first, or shall
I? You start this time.
The worst Turnabout Intruder. Is that the one you were going to choose?
No.
Right.
It's not one I like, but it's not quite up there in mine. That's one where Kirk and that woman swap bodies, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. This one, it's another one like the old Nomad. It just drives me distraught. There are so many things going on there that just have you thinking, "Oh no, you didn't really do that, did you?" You know. So we'll go over the storyline here. So, in answering a medical emergency, an archaeological expedition, Kirk confronts the deep hatred of an old love, Janice Lester, who supposedly lies severely ill from selenium radiation. In payment for jilting her back at Starfleet Academy, Dr. Lester arranges for an alien machine to swap her consciousness with that of the captain and takes command of the Enterprise. Once aboard, Kirk, in Lester's body, tries to convince Spock that he is trapped in her body. As a result, Janice, in Kirk's body, conducts a court-martial with the intent of executing Spock and Kirk in Janice's body. Jesus Christ. And later, McCoy and Scott to keep her secret. The crew realise something is seriously wrong with their captain and, not wishing to incur an illegal death penalty themselves, begin a passive resistance. I mean, it's like the Star Trek version of that shit film Face Off.
Yeah, the one with Nicolas Cage in it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. I mean, what
That's
a pairing. Yeah. I just,
it was the one that got cancelled for good after that.
Yeah, exactly. This was the last episode that or the last new episode broadcast, and yeah, I think after watching this one, they just thought, yeah, we finished with this. Yeah,
it was terrible. The only good little thing I like that, and it only lasts for a minute, was when Kirk, William Shatner as Dr. Lester, starts having a total meltdown. This is mutiny, and starts screaming and raging and that. I thought that was quite good. That's the only good bit out of the 50 minutes.
Yeah, it gave Shatner the chance to do some great overacting, but because of the circumstances where it happened, it didn't seem ridiculously over the top. It actually worked quite well. So yeah, I'll give you that. That bit did come across okay. The rest of it, though.
The rest you flushed down the cars.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that's definitely my one. Turnabout Intruder. If you've not watched it, save yourself the 50 minutes or so from
you'll never get that time back.
Yeah.
Right, my one, I haven't written it down, is from season 3. It is not Spock's brain. Brain and brain, what is brain? It is the empath.
Now, let me
if you've got the website up.
Yeah. Okay, it's not the one that I was thinking. No, it's definitely not the one I had in mind there. So, yeah.
Yeah, let me get the scenario, the synopsis up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. On a doomed planet, Kirk, Spock, and McCoy become the subjects of an alien experiment whose mysterious intention involves a beautiful, empathic woman. So there's 2 aliens that have imprisoned them, and there's also this short-haired young woman on there.
Yeah.
And what I really, really didn't like about this, it was all based around torturing them to death, to try and force her to use her empathic abilities to actually heal them. But the actual graphic description they did of the torture, and they did some of it. They said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna leave Spock completely brain dead as a drooling vegetable." Blah, blah. They actually went into all that detail. I thought, this is a family show.
Yeah. It crossed quite a few lines actually with that.
And you
the
saw
detail
McCoy,
that wasn't necessary. Yeah.
And you actually saw McCoy completely battered and bloodied after they tortured him. Because he was hung up in chains.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about now. Yeah, this is quite a nasty one. This.
If you're a younger person, even if you're like 12, 13, it's still quite disturbing.
Oh yeah, totally. I think they went too overboard with this one.
Yeah.
It's one like I can't remember the episode, but in Next Generation, when Picard is captured by the Cardassians, the one about just say how many lights are showing. I see 4 lights and that. That one, I think they overdid that with the torturing there, and this is very much in that sort of line.
Yeah,
It's too much. You're supposed to be sitting here enjoying it, and when
yeah.
you're watching something that is like really sort of like getting your rage up and that's not a good thing.
No, no.
You know.
I just remember feeling like absolutely disgusted when I
Mm.
finished that episode. I think I've only ever watched it once.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen this episode all the way through. Yeah, at all. I've never got all the way through it. That Next
That's
Generation one, I know it's a two-parter, and all the torture scenes I think are all in the second part. I've only ever seen that once, and I refuse to
yeah,
watch it again. I am pretty sure this is going to be the same. Well, in fact, I know it's going to be the same because, yeah, I've not seen it all the way through, and I have no wish to. And it's not because it's a shit one like Spock's brain or whatever, but because yeah, it's just a really nasty bloody
yeah.
episode, and it none of it was necessary. I don't think.
No, it was
It,
totally unnecessary.
yeah,
I mean, yeah. If you want to watch all that sort of stuff, you can go on the dark web and get some snuff films. But you don't watch Star Trek for that.
yeah. You're not going to be watching Star Trek for anything along those lines. So yeah, I totally get that one. To be fair, I had forgotten about that episode until you started talking about that. Then um, it definitely deserves its place. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
would
not
rate it
one.
as the worst ever in Star Trek, the original series.
Yeah, when you were originally looking, I thought you were going to choose "And the Children Shall Lead," which that's another one I
That's
can't
pretty
stand.
terrible. That is pretty
Yeah,
terrible.
I mean, I don't like episodes where you've got bloody kids in main roles. It just they always really
Yeah, well,
grate me.
that's why Miri didn't make it onto any of my lists.
Mm.
Season 1.
Mm.
That was a little bit when all the flirting that went on with her and Kirk, and she's supposed to be about 12, 13.
Yeah, exactly. It is seriously sailing close to the wind. Even back then, I mean, nowadays, Jesus Christ, there's no way they would show that now.
No. And then you had all the kids beating Kirk to death,
Mm.
going bonk, bonk on the head. And yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
All episodes that have had kids, apart from the one where Kirk's nephew is rescued, they're all weird.
Mm.
That was the one with the jelly monsters that slam into Spock's
Oh
back.
yeah. Actually, I thought that one was an okay episode.
Yeah, that was all right. That was an all right one with kids in it.
Mm.
But that and then the
Yeah, it's
children.
the only one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Miriam and the children couldn't lead. It was forgettable. And yeah, Miri was creepy, and the children of Eve was just junk.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Children Shall Lead is it's never going to make it on a top 10. Well, unless we were talking about the shittiest episodes of Star Trek, then it will make it on the list. But yeah, certainly nothing good about it. Thankfully, not quite as torturous though as that one that you chose.
Yeah. Because at least with Spock's brain, you can just laugh at the cringiness of it.
Exactly, yeah. Spock's brain, as crap as it is, no one is ever going to sit there and defend that episode and say, oh, actually, it is pretty good. But yeah, it does have the unintentional comedic value. You can sit there and laugh at it. So
exactly.
it's got that going for it.
It has its own ways of entertaining you.
Yeah.
There was another one in season 3 with Catwoman in, wasn't there?
Oh, no, it's Lee Merriweather.
That's one of the cat women.
Yeah.
I think Moth in here.
Yeah, I've usually got several. I've been rather lucky, haven't I?
Yeah, they will come here. Yeah, that wasn't that good. Where she touched people and they combusted from the inside, didn't they?
Yes, it's an interesting idea, but
very badly executed.
Yeah. It's one for the if there was ever a Star Trek series where they thought, right, let's make an R-rated one, then you can put storylines like that into that. But Star Trek was never meant to be R-rated, so
No.
yeah, let's have combusting after being touched by an alien. We'll leave those stories to one side for the moment.
Yeah. They're like certainly is. And so yeah, they've got video nasty and R-rated. Oh, season 3.
They certainly they certainly added variety in series 3, if nothing else. So there we are. Our top 5 episodes and some notable honourable mentions. Don't worry too much about the ones that we were talking about towards the end, but any one of those episodes, I think with all the honourable mentions, we've given you about 12 odd episodes there to go through. Every single one of them well worth watching. I have absolutely no complaints about how the list ended up. So it wasn't Devil in the Dark that won. What was it that won?
It was Devil in the Dark.
Oh, it was Devil in the Dark one.
Closely followed by Doomsday Machine.
Oh, yeah, there we go. I mean, those two, yeah. And I got no arguments for that. 2 great episodes. So even if you only catch the top 2, absolutely worth doing. Yeah, great stuff. So there we are, the first discussion video for quite some time. Definitely not the last. We have several others that were also suggested about a year and a half ago, which we will be doing. So yeah, keep your eyes open for those. But in the meantime, go away.